Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface, back on the beta for Warlords of Draenor / Draenor. We're going to find out soon which way we are going to call it for the next 2.5 years or so. Anywho, today I'm bringing you a brand new dungeon. This is Auchindoun. Now we know Auchindoun from the Burning Crusade. It's a destroyed area and there's 4 different dungeons in there. There's the Mana Tombs, there's Shadow Labs, there's the other stuff. So this time we're coming to a point in the timeline where it hasn't been destroyed, where it's at its peak. And we seem to be physically inside of it, as opposed to on the outskirts as we were with the Burning Crusade. So this is slap bang in the middle. So I imagine this is where things like the meeting stone would have been and such like that. So let's get on with stuff. First boss up, we have the Soul Construct. This boss fight, I'm really interested to see what this is going to be like on a heroic difficulty, because it could be an awful lot of fun. There's a lot going on in this fight, even for a normal one. You know, I'm quite tough on difficulty levels. I like to see difficulty levels of a tough nature. But this one, for a normal dungeon, has a lot going on, and I find that quite exciting. So first things first, he does like a forked, holy attack in front of it. You can see it on the floor. Don't get caught in it. It's telegraphed pretty easily. If you do, then you'll take some moderate damage. He will also select random players, and you'll notice a Nova will start to come in on you when you're stood on the ground. Get out the way, because if it gets to its completion point, then you can see it coming in now, it will explode and do some decent damage. He then does an AoE phase, which is really high in damage levels if you're not hid behind his shield. If you're hid behind his shield, you don't take any damage. If you don't hide, look what's going to happen to the healer. Sorry, you go bye-bye. Yeah, even though I said before the fight, during the AoE phase, please stand behind the shield. Some people did, some people didn't. But let's get the healer back into the fight. Now, I've done this 2 times now. We didn't wipe, but I did this in another group earlier, and the group fell apart after the first boss fight. We killed it, one-shotted it. But somebody died during the fight because they didn't hide behind the shield, and that was enough for them to quit. So them quitting, we finished the fight, somebody else quit, the tank and myself and other DPS waited for a few minutes, and then we just called it a day. So people, if you're beta testing the WOD Alpha and the WOD Beta, you're testing, you're not playing a demo. If you can't handle things like dying, please, just do us all a favour. Just don't even log on. Just wait for the game to release. Okay, so that's the boss done and dusted. Let's move on to the second one. Good fight, though. It was a good fight. Did enjoy it. Next up, we have Soulbinder Nyami. Now, this is another traitorous Draenei that needs to be dealt with. Nothing too much going on here. I really couldn't see anything of much worth to talk about. I'm going to be quite interested to see how they spice this one up for heroic. Because the first boss fight, we had lots going on, balls flying everywhere, ladies. Balls flying everywhere, forked holy attacks, shields flying on the floor, massive pulse AoE damage. And here we have a little bit of pulse AoE damage, definitely nothing along the levels of the Soul Construct. And then every so often she'll bring some ads in to the fight. And the ads don't really seem to do much. They don't seem to trouble you. They don't seem to be able to cause you any difficulty whatsoever. So you might as well just bring the ads with the boss and AoE down in its normal incarnation anyway. I'm hoping on the heroic difficulty level we might have to in some way separate the two and whatnot. But you can see with the pulsing AoE attack, there's a little arrow and a little dome in the middle there. Likelihood is if you're stunning that dome, you probably won't take any damage. You know, so it's an easy way to avoid that too. So that's the second boss down. 2 down, 2 to go. First boss fight, really enjoyed. Second boss fight, not a lot there. It is the normal difficulty, so you can't expect, you know, amazing fights all the time. It just felt like a standard run-of-the-mill boss fight. Nothing untoward about it. Now, we get to see what's really going on here. So, you know, if you don't like spoilers, then whoops. Because the Burning Crusade, the Burning Legion Burning Crusade, oh, it plays on my mind. The Burning Legion are being summoned through Auchindoun. This is the area which they're being summoned through with the traitorous Draenor who have turned against them. We all know what happens, and they come the Eredon Lords and blah, 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 blah. So next up, we have Azakel. Now, all I'm going to say is all the best people's names begin as, you know, FYI. And again, quite a cool fight, aesthetically anyway. I mean, look at that. Blizz, that's what our demonic portals should look like. That is an awesome construct in the middle of this battleground. Absolutely amazing construct. Now, you're burning down. He'll go up to the air. He'll become immune. He'll summon ads in. Now, the little ads, I decide to stick on these for the rest of the fight because they tend to do like a pulse, a heavy pulse damage. Now, we've been reconstructed to level 95 because this is the normal difficulty. So, although I'm on my level 100 pre-made, we've now been scaled to level 95. So, my HP level's not that high. And when these guys pulse their damage, explode their damage, whatever, it does about 50 odd K. 52k there. It's a lot. So I decide, for the good of the group, because none of the other DPSs were doing it, I would just stick on the ads and make sure I destroyed the ads. Again, the other DPSs can go back onto the boss, so it shouldn't be too much, you know, it shouldn't be too much difficulty for us to complete the fight. But again, that seemed to be it. Yeah, you got some fireballs flying off in different directions, and they're the ones that actually spawn the little imps in, but nothing really to trouble you. The whole dungeon was one shot. We didn't have any different, you know, we didn't struggle during any of the fights. I don't think that's the core feature here. Remember, this is meant to be a leveling up dungeon. This is somewhere that you can just come in, get a bit of EXP, get maybe a blue item or two from the boss, possibly complete a quest, as you can see is doing as well, and then get out and get back leveling up again. So I don't think they're trying too hard to really put the mechanics into this one. Again, I've got to stress this, it'd be interesting to see how they convert things like this for the heroic levels of the fights, because I think the heroic dungeons could be really tough and really challenging, and I just hope that Blizzard makes sure that there are not necessarily gear, but things like mounts, pets, incentives for us to actually go into them. Otherwise, they're just going to be a complete waste of time, because currently LFR has high level of gear than heroic dungeons will have, and they're easier to do. And if there's one thing that we've learned, Blizz, people will always do the easy option to get gear. So our final fight is Terran Gore. Yeah, it's nice to fight another person of worth so early on in the expansion, but like most of them, although we're getting to fight them, we're not getting to kill them. We're going to get to finish them off once and for all at a later date. Now, Terran Gore, if you don't know, a little bit of lore here, stepping on lore people's toes, whatever, that's how I roll. But Terran Gore eventually becomes Terran Gorefiend, the first ever Death Knight. There's a little bit of lore for you. So you burn him down a bit. After once in a while, then he'll turn into his demonic form, and then he'll start to do his proper attacks. He'll do a Chaos Wave, which is easily avoidable, and as I just found out then, he'll also do a demonic leap, which is pretty obviously telegraphed on the floor, and I just completely and utterly flummoxed it. Luckily, I'm going to get another bite of the Jerry, and this time I'll do my best to actually move out of the way. You'll notice a very well, I would say noticeable, but it's kind of noticeable green circle that starts to appear around you. You've got to move quickly. I should have possibly got my demonic circle out, so I give myself some leeway to just zap straight out of it. But the Chaos Wave goes so slowly, it's going to be easy to avoid. I can see that coming in really quickly in the heroic version, or at least I hope so. That would be pretty cool. And then again, the demonic leaps, you haven't got too much time to react to them. But you get him down to about 5%, and he's just like, screw this, I'm off home, and leaves. And you get some experience, and you get some money for completing the task. And no doubt, we will come across Terran Gore a little bit later on. So dungeon-wise, I found it highly enjoyable. Aesthetically, I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Lore-wise, gave us some storyline. So I did feel fulfilled, and I'm looking forward to seeing the tougher levels of difficulty to come. Oh, Belt of the Ravenlord. whatever. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook and twitch.tv/heel versus babyface for live Warlords of Draenor streaming. And I shall be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.